Okay, hello, it's Mika from Lahti. So hopefully my voice will heard and everything goes smoothly. So I have now 15 minutes time to tell about how the data management works in how data management works in Lahti Aqua as a group. So couple of key things and numbers in a nutshell about Lahti Aqua Group. So total sales 41 million, personnel just around 100 people. We also produce biogas, and annually we treated wastewater around 12 million cubic meters, and we have a network over 205,000 kilometers here in Lahti, which actually takes care of 140,000 inhabitants water supply in this Lahti area. And we are fortunate to have a fresh groundwater, which is quite abnormal here in Finland. So this is really good resource for the water. Okay, moving on. Content about my presentation is about Smart Aqua. This is something which we have give a name to this our kind of project or process. So then I will tell you something about sources of our data and how we lead on how we actually lead the processes with the data we do have. This is actually ancient history, meaning 2015. So there is a lot of data available every minute. So just a snapshot about this, meaning that we have a lot of data, but how we use it. And actually, in our cases, we have a data, but we didn't have so much specific data, and that's now something which we are now improving. And we branded it as a Smart Aqua, so you can see where it's coming from. So Lahti Aqua, quite simple. Their connection. Then about the data. Data is king in our case. So we have a lot of data, but actually when we are not the IT house, a lot of our data is located in data centers, and also we use cloud solutions. Which one of them is Azure, which I will show you a little bit later. Of course, there's a protection rules about how we protect the data, and also EU is giving some guidance about when we are handling the personal information. Data is driven the whole business, and it's a key thing when we are making decision how we proceed. And of course, when there's a lot of data, if the data is lost or the data is inaccurate, it can be quite harmful to the business. Then about Smart Aqua. So Smart Aqua actually is a process which combines customer relationship management, production, and then investment processes, and also leadership, which is then of course tied for the capable personnel, which we said they have like 100 people across the business. So then about the sources of the data. So this is like really simple picture how we let's say move the data from the sources to the cloud. And where's my pointer here? So this is like the key element in our data warehouse. So there's a lot of different data sources. The ones which now affects to wastewater treatment is our CRM. This is our CRM system, and this is our ERP system. Here is remote readable water meters. This is Aquarexis is our wastewater pump station. All the data which is available there. This is our network. How all the pipelines are located in Lahti area, and also in Insta automation. It gives some information about the wastewater, but more or less at the moment in just our raw material, so water. All this information is collected every night to the Microsoft Azure, and then we are exploiting the data next day with our ClickSense, which is then one of the many BI solutions available. I think you know the Cognos and Overpivot and so on. So there's a lot of tools available, and we chose the ClickSense in our case. Moving on, how we lead to the data. This is more or less quite straightforward. Our data is almost like the real time. As I said, it's uploaded each and every night. It's transparent and solid, meaning there's how can I express it? So quite solid, meaning there is no lot of there isn't a lot of mistakes in the data, and if there is, we will handle. So we make correction to the master data. Each and every have access to the data anywhere and everyone almost in the company. We live with the numbers, so that is our main pain point. Of course, we have a lot of experience, but this is something which we want to now in the future lead more with the statistics and analysts more than before. Of course, it's clear without saying that it's only put it once inside, and our users had a lot of opportunities to make the analysis by themselves. And then how we manage with the data. So this is a couple of snapshots from our ClickSense, which is now the reporting tool in which I just mentioned. So maybe this is the one of the key KPIs is this wastewater leakage, and unfortunately I cannot show you the online version. So this is just a snapshot, but this now describes the situation in Lahti area. So all of these little dots are pump station, and we have 2 water treatment facilities in this picture, and this one then try to explain how the wastewater is going in through the system. However, this is just a rough estimate, because we know the wastewater which is pumped to the treatment plant, which is like real-time information, but the billing is not. So basically every second month we have a quite good understanding what is the what's the difference between built and pumped water, and then we can make analysis by the area. So between one and two pump station, and these figures and colors then indicates if they're okay or if they are not. But as I said, we are doing now at the moment pilot for this remote reading meters, and we have now 152 pilot points, but we have now usage places like 22,000, so there's a lot of information which is not available as we speak, so only within 2 months. Then this is also one capture of the system as well. So this is how it looks like. This is like one treatment plant which is now located in Katerina. So this one tells you like this is a 8-month situation this year. So what is the volume, and then what is the leakage percentage? So this is the percentage. But as you see that there's a lot of drops. So like in February and April and June, you can see what is the real situation. So that like, let's see, in here it says that it's 13% is that cumulative leakage percentage at the moment. But as I said, this is just a part. So now we have to combine a lot of data, which is then like maintenance information, how all our pipelines are, which materials they are made from, and how the customers are giving feedback if there's a lot of issues in certain area. And all this information must be put it in one basket and shake it, and then you have like a possibility to make, for example, investments. When we are making renovations, which pipelines should be first to make renovation? If there's a lot of other things which are related to one pipeline, maybe you can find some kind of connection between this information. But however, we are still gathering more than making deep analysis. So we are starting this program, and the data will be more and more available, and we will learn, and probably we will then make more good decision as well. So I think this is mainly my presentation. So now we have a time for questions if I'm capable to giving your solutions or answers.
Okay, Mika, thank you. I was under impression that I was sharing my camera when I first spoke to you today. Apparently I didn't, so I will try once again to show my face, and we will see if this works then. Hello. Yes, so please, as I mentioned earlier, type your questions into the chat box that you can see right to the presentation, and we received at least 2 questions from Sami, and the first one is about the bigger picture of the data management at the wastewater treatment plant, so particularly about different bottlenecks for the rapid development of this kind of the concept as Smart Aqua, for example. So what do you see, Mika, is the limiting factor at the moment? Is it the non-availability of the technologies, or perhaps knowledge how to use it, or further implementation of the findings that these technologies provide?
Actually, all of them, it's the correct answer. So just this morning we were discussing, having a meeting with Insta Automation. So we have now technology, but still we are having only rough figures. But now it seems that we are able to, for example, this morning we just discussed about energy consumption, and now the energy consumption can be split in 16 different processes within the wastewater treatment plant. So it gives us much more detailed information, and that information which we receive is like every minute. So before we had a big picture how much energy consumption is, but it wasn't split in certain sub processes, and now we have those sub processes we have understood, and now we start to measuring. But it takes a while we collect the data where we can make an analysis. And we're just wondering this morning that maybe if there's someone else also making the same thing, that we can change this information. So because we are now gathering, and if somebody already have information, kind of like same plant size, so we can change this information and make further assumptions or analyses. But still, it's not ready. Baby steps are now taken.
Yeah, so then basically the next Sami's question is what in your opinion would be this first baby step for a plant to start building such a smart system of data management at the wastewater treatment plant?
Yeah, actually that was one thing, was this energy consumption and how it influences on the quality of our work, meaning that we have environmental permits which we have to fulfill. So if we make some change, how it affects the process, and if it has because the main thing which is two drivers is the cost, and then efficiency, and then quality as well. So 3 drivers across the business. So hopefully we will have something which we can then now make deeper analysis, because then we need also sensors for temperature and what is if it's spring or summer, because that also influence how much water we are treated and so on. So there's a lot of other components considered as well.
Yeah, as our second presenter, Hanno, has commented that yes, environmental effects should be seen probably as a driver for these changes and implementing such systems. Okay, thank you. So you're being asked if you can possibly explain a bit more in detail about the leakage percentage on the example of Lahti's situation, or the Kariniemi plant that you have been presenting.
Okay, maybe I will like this one. So in here you can see there's maybe I have used our arrow here. Unfortunately, this is in Finnish, but this is like one wastewater pump station in here in Puistola, and there's the location. So you can see that how much we have sold wastewater in cubic meters. Around 140,000 cubic meters, and then how much we have pumped. So actually we have sold less, because in pumped we have pumped 178,000 cubic meters, So that's like the difference between how much we have actually pumped and how much we have sold, because this sold water we can then get like revenues, but if there's a lot of leakage in our pipelines, we are also pumping that wastewater, which can be like rainwater or something like that, and we cannot make any revenue for those. And for example, in here we can see that around this pump station there is little less than 600 usage places, meaning water meters. So that is basically just a percentage calculated between the pumped and sold.
Yeah, how often do you check it?
How often? At the moment, as I said, this is can be now done like daily basis, but as the information is not available based on the sales side, the accurate figures, or quite accurate, can be made every second month, because then, for example, there's a lot of private houses in Lahti area, and those are built only twice, so meaning in February and in April. So then we'll have like the whole sales volume available. We know the pumped volume, but we don't know the sales volume. So therefore, it can be done like weekly basis, but it's not accurate enough. But when we have this remote meters, then we have possibility to check it like every day and make the comparison. For example, if it was a rainy day and another one wasn't, so if the then leakage will increase in some between some pumping stations, there could be some troubles in the pipelines.
Okay. So then the leakage percentage is last question.
Average for the whole year 20. Yeah, that's correct. And that is actually quite good in Finland, this percentage. In some cities it's much more higher, but we have a quite good pipelines in Lahti area. But we are investing quite a lot, quite heavily actually, yearly basis, to make a renovation there.
So how many municipalities you service around Lahti?
Inhabitants?
Well, yeah, or in inhabitants, yes.
Inhabitants, 140,000.
Okay. Well, that's quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, mid-size in Finland, in that sense.
Yeah, Kalmar comments that they have a comparable
as well. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Our freshwater is something like 4%. That I think was the last year's figure.
Mm-hmm. I think we still would have these general question about your presentation to vote for, and then we can continue to the next presentation. So if no more questions